Perek HaSoiches HaPoyalim, Daf Tzadi Gimel, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Chai Rivka Bas Esther. The Gemara's conclusion to yesterday's discussion is that our Mishnah holds a worker's entitlement is a heavenly gift. A minor slave's master cannot negotiate with his employer to exchange his right to eat for monetary compensation, since the worker lacks the mental capacity to waive his right. The Brisa permits it. The minor slave's entitlement is a wage supplement that automatically transfers to his master. According to Rabbi Yochanan, this law applies even if he does not feed his slave. The halacha follows our Mishnah, however, Rishonim hold, if the employer deprived the worker from eating, he must compensate him. We move on to a new Mishnah. The laws of this Mishnah were discussed in detail on the previous daf. To review, number 1, a worker regarding himself, a father of adult children, a master of adult slaves, or a husband concerning his wife may stipulate to their employer monetary compensation at the expense of their right to eat while working. However, not regarding minor children, slaves, or animals. They do not have the mental capacity to waive their rights. Number 2, one who hires workers to harvest neta revai, fourth-year produce eaten only in Yerushalayim, forego their right of consumption unless not notified by their employer that the produce was neta revai. In that case, he must redeem produce to compensate them. Similarly, workers hired to press figs that fell apart or to seal wine casks that opened forego their right of consumption unless not notified by their employer that the produce requires tithing. In that case, he must tithe the produce and compensate them. Number 3, those that guard produce are permitted to eat while working by custom, common practice, not by Torah law. The Gemara's first discussion is Machlokas Rav and Shmuel that explains the fourth law of the Mishnah. Rav holds that the Mishnah refers to guards of gardens and orchards who guard attached produce before the harvest. We learned previously, hoers and weeders are not entitled to eat by Torah law. The Mishnah teaches they are entitled by common practice. Guards to wine vats and piles of produce are entitled to eat by Torah law. As we learn, one may consume produce while working that is detached and whose processing is not finished. Although a guard does not work directly with the produce, he is classified as a worker entitled to eat while working. Shmuel holds the Mishnah permits eating by common practice guards of wine vats and piles of produce. One who guards orchards and gardens cannot eat at all while working. Guarding does not classify as work. Although one who guards a paraduma from becoming contaminated does become tameh, based on the rule that all engaged in the production of the ashes become tameh, according to Shmuel, it is gzeira d'Rabbanan for the purpose of distancing him from any contact with the animal. The Gemara concludes by bringing an earlier Mishnah to support Shmuel. Now we move on to a new Mishnah. The Mishnah discusses the 4 custodians with their respective laws. Number 1, Shomer Chinam, an unpaid custodian, is liable only for negligence. He can swear to exempt himself from any circumstance where other custodians pay. Number 2, Shoel, a borrower, is liable for even unavoidable circumstances leading to the damage or destruction of the borrowed item. Number 3, no say socher v'asocher, a paid custodian or renter are classified together. They can exempt themselves from payment by swearing the animal broke a limb, was abducted by armed robbers, or died of natural causes, but they are liable for theft and loss. The Gemara states the author of the Mishnah is Rabbi Meir, consisting of 4 custodians with 3 different legal categories. The Gemara next discusses a machlokas Rabbah and Rav Chizdav and Rabbah Bar Chana concerning a shepherd that led his flock on a riverbank where one slipped and fell in the water. Rabbah exempted the shepherd from payment since he adopted normal precautions, even entering a town the same time as the other shepherds, taking a nap, leaving the flock unattended is not a breach of contract unless hired to guard a town at night, a job that requires more than normal vigilance, or he accepted greater responsibility than required. However, if he fled to escape an attacking lion, the court then assesses his ability to protect his flock. If he could muster up the other shepherds, even for pay, to chase away the lion, he is liable. However, he can demand a refund from the owner for hiring the other shepherds. It is worth it for the owner. He prefers animals he is already familiar with, and in addition, he wants to avoid the effort involved in purchasing new animals. Rav Chizda and Rabbah Bar Rav Huna disagree. They hold that a paid custodian is paid to guard exceptionally. If he fails to do so, although not considered negligent, he is not exempt for an unavoidable mishap. Even if the guarded object was stolen by an armed robber, if the custodian failed to notify the police who could have arrived on the scene and prevented the theft, if the thief was later identified, the custodian has to pay the owner and sue the thief himself.